Hey guys, Harold Osmer, West Hills Wood. Beginner woodworking tips, tricks, and whatever else. Tips, tricks, techniques, that's kind of lame. Hey, but tell you what, today we're going to talk about screwdrivers. These are mechanic type, these are craftsman, but it's what I had around the house. You know what? It'll drive a screw as good as anything else. These are some cheesy ones from wherever they came from. The real woodworker guys will tell you got to have wood handles and all that. Well, if you want to, you go right ahead. You know, all you're trying to do is put a screw in the hole. Doesn't much matter so long as you know how to do it. I mean, you really got to put in a little pressure and turn it to the right. Quick story on that. One of my daughters went off to one of those robotics things during high school, and she came home and she was surprised at the number of even boys who had never used a screwdriver. Everybody knows which end is which and what it's for and all that, but they didn't know enough to turn the right direction, that kind of thing. So, look, for a very beginner person like yourself, you know, it takes a little bit of practice. It's not impossible. We're talking woodworking, not rocket science, so don't get too crazy about it. You got the flat blades, you got your Phillips, and you got the square drive. Don't worry about it. Get the screws you like and go from there. When it comes to drills, well, first off, these are drills. Here's a kit. These are drills. All right? This is a drill motor. Ubiquitous terms anyway. This is a drill, we know what we're talking about. Okay? So you can get a basic set of drills like this for $9, $10, whatever it is. It'll be fine for you. Don't worry about it. You don't need to get too fancy, but you can get fancy if you want. There are different types of bits. These are basic twist bits. We also have a type that's called a Forstner Bit. A Forstner Bit is a large thing like this. It creates a flat surface, nice center spot on there, and it creates a smooth edge around that on the hole itself. If you want to set that in, drill a hole in the middle and put a washer on there or something, it works out really well. Another type of bit is a Spade Bit, like this. It does pretty much the same thing, only it's more of a construction type of a tool, and it leaves a rougher surface in the end than a Forstner Bit will. Another type you can get is get a drill bit like this. It has a countersink on it, and it makes a nice beveled kind of shape for it so that when you put a screw in the hole, the screw head will fit flat against the surface. That works out well for finish purposes. There's another kind here that's a spring-loaded deal, so if you're trying to put a hinge into something, you don't have to try and aim for the center. This thing will automatically line it up, and then when you push against it, it'll drill the hole exactly in the center. It's a self-centering bit. It's terrific. I tell you, man, I use that more than I ever thought I would. All right, here's a really long one. You can get a long spade bit if you want, and then long drill bits too. Works out well. You want to make your holes? Find yourself one of these. Egg beater. Yeah, hey, you know, it'll work. You can drill holes with it. And it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's very quiet. It's also hard to find and rather pointless these days, you know. Go out and get yourself one of these guys. Now this one happens to be a Milwaukee. I have a Hitachi. I got other different brands as well. And they all work really well. They'll come in a kit. Here's a case here, you know, that this thing comes in, and that's fine. What you're looking for, make sure you get 2 batteries. Most of them come with 2 batteries and a charger. You're going to want one on charge all the time, and one you're going to have actually in the unit, working like that. It'll have a nice chuck on the end of it, so it'll tighten down against your bit. It'll be reversible both ways, and you can set the drive tension for, you know, on your clutch here, so that you don't overdrive your pieces. The key to these, most of them work really well. There's a ton of them out there, and it's hard to know which one is which and which one you should get. Get one that fits your hand, one that feels comfortable in your own hand. You're the one that's going to be using this thing. Like, I happen to have 3 of them here. Here's one that I had for a long time, and I use it a lot. But man, this sucker's a brute, okay? That's really a big piece. I love it. I use it a lot. It's just big, you know. See the size differential here, and this one is much newer, and it's just the way it goes. Now, if you were going to be using this you and your wife are going to be using this. You want to make sure your wife is able to hold this thing. Otherwise you're going to wind up doing all the work. Here's another one here. It's a little smaller. Some of them have lights in them like this, but they all work well. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to spend a couple $100 on one of these guys. You're still going to need some of these because you do. There's a lot of times you don't want to be overdriving things with power. Get yourself a nice set of bits. Get yourself a nice motor and go to town. Have some fun. All right? Spend a couple of dollars doing it. Make sure you get 2 batteries. Osmer, West Hills Wood.